It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Crowd is set again. Oh, John, boom. Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass.
And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole.
Here's the give.
Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is Hump Day, the 14th day of December 2022. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN. Find our podcast, listen back to anything you may have missed on demand by visiting Google, Apple, Spotify, and of course the iHeartRadio app. MichiganSportsNetwork.com is the website. XPMornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we this morning?
I'm good. Went to the Red Wings game last night. Had a blast.
Yeah, how was that?
Good. 1-0 loss. Did they even have a scoring chance? Honestly, the Hurricanes are good. They're very good. So it was a fun time. Saw one Matthew Shepard, one Craig Monroe, Natalie Kerwin. It was good. It was a fun time.
What was Shep up to?
He was probably schmoozing.
Ooh.
He was just hanging out. So was Simo. Like I ran into one of our coworkers, Donald, and he was like, "Hey, Simo, I ran into Simo earlier. Text him." So I texted Simo. He's like, "Meet me on the concourse in the second intermission." And then, yeah, we went and hung out in the suite for a little while. The third period.
Oh, nice. That's what you like to see. That you like to see a little BSD sweet action in there.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Did you have a beer?
Yes. We went to Hopcat prior to. Took the Q line from Hopcat. That was awesome. Free parking, 4-minute Q line ride, and then a 4-minute Q line ride back.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
It was sweet.
What a downtown Metro Detroit experience you had.
That's
last
right.
night. Did you go to Greektown after?
No, gosh, no.
Why not?
I went to Greektown before Louis C.K. last Friday. Went to Pegasus.
Well, I know. I mean, go to Greektown and get the real full Detroit experience.
Well, I know,
after 10 o'clock.
Right. Don't.
Not before. No. After 10 o'clock.
Don't say that.
After 10. That's when things are going to get a little dicey. You get that real, How was Louis C.K., by the way? I don't think you ever said.
Be warned.
Uh-oh.
He is still the same guy.
Well, yeah, he's not going to change.
If you don't know his material, don't go see him. My brother was not that my brother is he doesn't care, but he didn't understand like how raunchy it is. It's bad. It's it'll make you uncomfortable at points. That's how. Yes. Yeah.
Wow, it's like that. Okay, all right. Good to know if you're going to see Louis C.K. Ryan, how was your evening last night?
It was good. Appointment television last night, the 20th anniversary special of Around the Horn.
Nice.
So it was a nice hour-long special diving into the whole 20 years. Tony Reale as the host and just behind the scenes of a day in the life of making the show.
That means they only had to take a 23-hour break, not a
21-hour break, because they aired at 7.
Nice.
So, yeah, 21.
Well, and if you think way back, right, Tony Reale started on, pardon the interruption, as the...
Well, guess who was... He was not the first host of Around the Horn.
Oh, now you're really... I can't...
Oh, man.
Because Reale was the guy who...
He was Stat Boy.
Stat Boy
for
for
PTI.
Wilbon and Kornheiser.
What did we miss?
First host. Man, that's a good trivia.
Current
question.
ESPN employee.
Adam Amin. I don't know.
No.
I'm teasing with that.
Max Kellerman.
Oh, you know what? Damn it. That one I should have had. That's aggravating. It is Max Kellerman. Wow. Incredible stuff. I didn't know that was taking place. I think I saw Frank Isola win yesterday too. On Around the Horn.
So and there's some great throwbacks, and then for people wondering, they did show clips of Jay Mariotti. They didn't try to scrub him out of the entire show's history.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I'm sure they had to do 5 minutes on the signs, the Woody Page signs. I'm sure they had to talk about that.
They were featured. It was more about just Woody Page since he was on the first episode.
Wow.
Him and Bob Ryan.
Oh yeah, Bob Ryan looks old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor Bob Ryan. He looks like the crypt keeper of sports. I mean, the guy gets on there and it's like, dear God, Skeletor, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? Some shocking news yesterday. We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happening. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
The biggest, saddest news of the day is Mississippi State head coach Mike Leach has passed away after his hospitalization. The head ball coach died Monday night after complications related to a heart attack. Leach's family said in a statement released yesterday by the school that Leach participated in an organ donation at the University of Mississippi Medical Center as a final act of charity. Leach suffered what the university initially described in a news release as a personal health issue at his home in Starkville on Sunday, which required him to be airlifted to UMMC in Jackson, about 125 miles away from Mississippi State. Mike Leach gone at the age of 61. That is young. Ohio State running back Trayvon Henderson is going to have surgery and miss the college football playoff. The San Francisco Giants and Carlos Correa have agreed to a 13-year, $350 million deal. What a commitment this
Gross.
is. Correa, who had that really nice, cute one-year deal with the Minnesota Twins, 28 years old, a 13-year deal. That should be illegal. But they're just going to keep doing it because they're idiots. The hat trick gives the Capitals captain, Alexander Ovechkin, 800 career goals. So he continues his chase of Wayne Gretzky. They won 7-3 over Chicago. Celtics won a wild one in overtime after blowing a 20-point lead to the LA Lakers, 122-118. That was one of our money line picks last night. If you were interested in getting in on the DraftKings action, Devontae Parker's injury is being reviewed by the NFL. They're not happy or pleased with how the Patriots did that. And tests confirmed Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray has a torn ACL, which the whole story yesterday of sources say it might not be torn. Sources should just shut up until an MRI is done. We'll step aside. We're back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network. Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from X's and Bros, and we at the Michigan Sports Network, in partnership with Eagle Casino and Sports, the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan, and Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort are sending you on the Maize and Blue trip of a lifetime. Our Fiesta Bowl giveaway includes round-trip airfare for two, a 3-night stay at the Andaz Scottsdale Resort, access to all Alumni Association events with transfers, 2 tickets to the Fiesta Bowl featuring number 2 Michigan against number 3 TCU, and a post-game meal to follow. Make this New Year's a New Year's to remember. To enter, simply text the keyword GOBLUE to 21,000. That's GOBLUE to 21000. Must be 21 years of age or older to enter. 1 entry per number. Winner selected on Wednesday, December 14th at noon Eastern. For full details and information, visit MichiganSportsNetwork.com. Text the keyword GOBLUE to 21,000, and we'll see you on New Year's Eve in the desert.
Make some midweek magic with Light the Lamp Wednesdays at BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Place a $25 wager on any NHL player to score a goal on Wednesday, and you'll automatically receive $2 in free bets for every goal scored in the game. Up to $16 in free bets. Just log on to your account or download the app and sign up with BetMGM to get started. Then opt into the Light the Lamp Wednesdays promotion to receive a $2 free bet for every goal scored in the game, regardless of your prop bet's outcome. Take your shot every Wednesday at BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Michigan only. This is a new and existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you think you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. This excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Your Auto Value Auto Parts store is part of a network of more than 300 family-owned stores and are locally run by some of your own friends and neighbors. Every day, we work hard to provide you with all the automotive aftermarket parts and accessories you'll ever need. Name brands, too, like Champion, Seafoam, Wix, Lucas, Mobile, and more. The auto parts you need at the value you've come to expect. So thanks again for shopping locally at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get it.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahala, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. And folks, you want to join us, we thank you for joining us here on the radio, but you want to join us out in the desert, that much is for certain. It is your last day, your last couple of hours, less than 6 hours away for the selection of our winner to our Fiesta Bowl giveaway, which includes 2 tickets to the game, round-trip airfare, 3-night stay, and a luxury resort in Scottsdale. Breakfast every morning, meal/dinner party after the game. It's going to be excellent, and you're not going to want to miss it. Your final moments to enter are right now, up until noon. 1 entry per phone number. Text the word Go Blue. Send that to 21,000. Go Blue to 21000. And that enters you to win. That's it. It's going to send you a text to make sure that you're over the age of 21. From there, it'll once you confirm that, it'll send you one more text that said, "Hey, thanks for confirming. You're in." And guess what? Click this link if you want more information. If not, that's it. We're all done. That's all you needed to do. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. So we hope that, hopefully you'll enter. And if you had plans, you'll adjust those plans accordingly as you have
we're over 10,000 entries now. Love it.
Over 10,000 entries. Wow. Man, that's exciting. That is, because, somebody had tweeted me yesterday. Is the best response that I've seen on the Twitterverse when I put out the graphics. A lot of people are like, oh, my God, I need these tickets, right? If they don't get the tickets, they're going to pass out or something. But this person had sent me a GIF, and I can't remember where the animal is from, but it is a cartoon animal, maybe not Peter Pan. He said LFG. This comes from BW 237. LFG, exclamation point. I'm poor. I need this, Anthony. And it's got the little, what looks like a fox. The fox is dressed up as a beggar. I've seen this film as a kid, and he's got the cup, and he's rattling the cup, and he's got the glasses on and the cane to make it look.
Oliver Twist?
No, you know what? I'm just gonna retweet it so it's up there, and that way I can, you guys can see it. But it's good. It's funny. I just don't remember what the cartoon, like where it was from.
I think that's Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Okay, that would seem about right. So thank you for that. But yeah, text Go Blue, enter to win. Amazing Blue trip of a lifetime. It's fantastic. If you have any questions or anything, visit MichiganSportsNetwork.com. All the info is right there. Big thanks to our partners, Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, and Eagle Casino and Sports, and of course the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan. Because I guess that I think that if you win this, you get like a year-long membership to the Alumni Association and their events. It's not just the weekends, so it's a pretty good gig. The Detroit Red Wings were 1-0 losers last night to the Carolina Hurricanes. Ville Husso stopped 26 of 27 shots, and it was his 8th game allowing 1 goal or fewer, which is actually the second best in the league from any goaltender standpoint. The actual leader in that statistical category of 1 goal against or fewer is the Boston Bruins. Ullman, I think, has 10 of them on the year. So Carolina improved to 5-0-1 on its current road swing. They're playing very, very good hockey. Detroit captain Dylan Larkin blocked a shot early in the game, did not return in the third period. Derek Lalonde said after the game last night he'd be unavailable tonight. So this is bad news Bears, and they play in Minnesota. So a little bit of a trek there. The doctor said, quote, said he's not playing tomorrow, and now we'll go from there. It also said the Wings would recall their forward from their AHL affiliate with, Larkin going down on another injury to a blocked shot. And Lalone said, he had some comments about Larkin, talking about how he drives the puck and carries the puck for him. And even when they've had some guys down or out, like Verana and like Bertuzzi, for example, Larkin has still been able to press the issue and force the action. They're going to need some help. It's getting a little spicy.
This was a pretty important game for the Red Wings. It was a 3% boost if they won, compared in their playoff odds, compared to a minus 1.5% if they lose.
That's a 4.5% swing.
So yeah, like they were. I believe it would have gone up to 18% chance to make the playoffs if they won.
Oh wow. And the Wings, they were 0 for 3 on the power play last night. Did not register a shot during the first two man advantages. So last night's game, a lot of back and forth. A lot of neutral zone time, but really, they just couldn't get a grade A quality chance last night. And it's going to happen. Carolina's a good club. Carolina's no schmuck here. This wasn't the Columbus Blue Jackets you brought to town. This is the second best team in the NHL's Metro Division. They have 38 points on the season, trailing only New Jersey there and tied with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we know that as the Red Wings continue to, evolve, they continue to grow and build on this team. There are going to be nights like this where this is why the team finished, the way that they did last year, that had their head coach fired. Like they're not that far removed. They have added some really nice pieces that have made them way more competitive this year than last year, which is great. But if last year was your measuring stick, well, newsflash, folks, last year wasn't a great year. So I had this realization. I was sitting there watching the Red Wings last night. It's going to be a really, really long time until football comes back. It just is. The Pistons are awful. The Tigers are going to stink.
You mean the Tigers who have they made a free agent signing?
Yeah, Matt Boyd.
Matt Boyd.
It's cool because the DJ can bring back his cut of Flavor Flav going, yeah,
oh, yes.
Boyd.
Can't wait.
Yeah, they're going to stink. The Pistons they're awful. And the Red Wings are at least, hovering around 500, middle of the pack in their division. They are looking up at Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston. Detroit with 32 points. Looking up at Tampa Bay now is a 5-point advantage on them. And they're tied with Florida with only Montreal, Ottawa, and Buffalo below them. So they went from starting off really, really well to they're 2-6 in their last 8 games. You just can't afford to run like this. They might be playing themselves out of this thing by, January 1. So just to keep you abreast of what's going on there, if you haven't been paying attention, we were really on fire earlier in the year, and you combine injuries with everything else, it's a bad recipe. It's a bad recipe, and you can't keep taking off first line guys. They don't have that. They've got good depth. They don't have that kind of depth. You can't take out your captain, Bert, and Verana go AWOL. That just cannot happen. And there's no – I don't know when it's going to get any better, folks. The injury bug hit, and it is hit like a sledgehammer. New customers can bet $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game. Get $150 in free bets if they do. That's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Get in on all the holiday hoops action. Sign up with the promo code HUGE. Place a $5 pregame money line wager on any NBA team and get $150 in free bets when they win. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. Will you wager on Detroit? 7-22 this year? Or the Charlotte Hornets? 7-20. Or would you not touch that game with a 20-foot pole? That's what I would recommend. Find a different one. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Eligibility and terms do apply. Bonus issued is free bets. And you can check out those eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/basketball terms. We're going to step aside. We had a great conversation with Luke Fedlam, who's an NIL specialist and a former Buckeye. Ugh. But that's okay. because the NIL discussion's awesome. It's next here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
It's that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Delicious holiday meals are right around the corner when you shop Meijer. Get Meijer's spiral sliced half ham for 89 cents per pound, limit 2. Meijer canned vegetables like green beans are just 39 cents. And Pillsbury refrigerated baked products are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, whip up your favorite holiday desserts with low prices on family favorites like Meijer butter, flour, and sugar. Get more for your money with the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this. Winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. Appreciate you. And, of course, encourage you to join the program. Dan, any words from Luke?
Yes, he is. He's on the line.
Oh, great. Well, let's get right to it. We're going to shift gears a little bit and hop into the discussion of we're going to go to a place that we don't really know a whole lot about, so let's learn about it a little bit with Luke Fedlam, who joined the program right now. Luke, good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Luke is an NIL expert, a non-agent sports attorney, managing partner at Advance NIL, partner and chair of the sports law practice at Porter Wright Law Firm, and the author of Sports Law, a practical guide to protecting the interests of athletes. You can find him on Twitter at Luke Fedlam. Luke, my friend, first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to join us. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm glad that we can finally, have some time to kind of understand exactly what we think we're reading and what we think we are seeing with name, image, and likeness. When this first came out, I think a lot of us assumed that, hey, NIL is going to pass. Kids are going to be able to run camps. They're going to be able to sell T-shirts or, do all these little things that the NCAA would shun if they collected any money from. And then we ran into Texas A&M, and we have a lot of questions about what's going on down there. So what, in theory here, what do you see as what NIL should be, and then what do you believe that it is right now?
Well, everyone came into name, image, and likeness believing that it was going to be exactly what we thought, right? This idea of student athletes being able to license or lend their name, their image, their likeness to a third party and receive compensation, to run camps and clinics like you mentioned, to be able to maybe have a T-shirt with their face on it and be able to make money off of it, or a jersey with their name on it and make money off of it. And those things are happening. Let's be very clear. Those things are happening across the country with thousands of student athletes. But what we're seeing when we look at the headlines and look at some of the big programs is that name, image, and likeness is in some ways just being used as a cover for pay to play. And what it really has come down to is when we have coaches talking about student athletes to be able to keep their roster intact, they need X number of millions of dollars, or student athletes now because of the transfer portal can also transfer. There's a lot that's gone into name, image, and likeness that was not originally contemplated.
Luke, as we try to get a grasp on this as fans of college athletics, I mean, do we, like the oversight committee here from the NCAA, how would you, if let's say you were like the director, if there was like a committee to put some rules in place as to how NIL should function so that it is not just pay for play, how would you approach that?
Well, it's really hard because at this point there has not been any ability to really say what is fair market value. So if you have a student athlete right now, all you have to have for a name, image, and likeness deal is mutual obligations, which basically means the student athlete has to do something. And for that something that they do, sign autographs, make appearances, post on social media, they can receive compensation. But there's no limitations to say that one tweet is worth $1,000, $100, or $1 million. And that's what really a lot of this challenge is. There has to be at some point some determination of what fair market value is for the work or the services that a student athlete provides. So trying to set some parameters around that, you can't really put in necessarily limitations because oftentimes fair market value is whatever the market would say it is. But having some type of limitations on what is considered normal and fair, I think that's at least the first place to start with all this.
What exactly is, I've seen this term, Luke, a couple of times. What is an NIL collective, and how do those work?
So NIL collectives, and you say you've seen the term a couple times. It's interesting because a year and a half ago, the term didn't even exist. So it was a creation out of name, image, and likeness. And what it is, it's an organization, a separate entity distinct from the school or the institution that is usually made up of donors, alumni, or fans of that particular institution for the sole purpose of raising funds and getting name, image, and likeness deals to student athletes. Now, we've heard a lot about NIL collectives over the last year or so as people have realized, well, that's an easy way then to get big dollar deals to student athletes. If I'm a donor and I want, or an alum, and I want my institution to get the best recruiting class or to get that one 5-star prospect that we want, then that's a way for me to go in, pull some funds together with some other people to be able to put together deals for specific student athletes at that particular institution.
It does make me think of our friends Jared Wangler and Justin Rowe over at Valiant, which is I don't even know. I guess an NIL collective because they are separate from the University of Michigan. But Wangler being a former Michigan football player, Justin Rowe heavily connected at U of M, and they kind of work in that space, operating of kind of orchestrating these different deals for these student athletes. So I wonder if that's kind of in the same mold. That's a question I'll have to ask to them, as I tried, just like any other fan, try to learn and understand exactly what we're seeing, because there were no parameters, there were no guidelines. It was like the NCAA just kind of said, here, NIL's fine. We're not going to take the lawsuit. You guys figure it out. And it's like, well, we're not, as somebody like a position of power, we're not exactly supposed to just have, like the Wild West out here, but it is what it is.
Right.
How do we figure out what is quote unquote fair? The term fair, we can go a million different directions with this, right? Life ain't fair. It's never going to be fair. Kids, get it out of your mind. Just drop that word from your vocabulary. But we know football is the engine that drives athletic departments. Men's basketball is right there as well. For a lot of institutions across the country, those are the programs that they allow the athletic departments to even have a budget in the first place. So what about that term fairness, and how do we kind of disperse some of this money to where we have Title IX from a scholarship standpoint, but when it comes down to the open market, that's not going to exist?
Right, and that is a challenge, because you're absolutely right. Because it's a separate entity, it's not the institution. Title IX doesn't necessarily apply. One thing, though, that I do think we will see is that over time, I do think the market will correct itself. Hey, that when we look at it, when people have the opportunity to initially get involved and being able to put money in the hands of student athletes, that for 70-plus years of NCAA history, they weren't able to do that, to then all of a sudden they can, I think we saw just a rush into the marketplace. But when you're talking about some of those really big deals, this season, when we go into this upcoming off season, I think a lot of donors, a lot of people who put money into big dollar, numbers into some athletes that did not get a return on their investment, I think the market over time will correct itself to find something that is more in line with norms. Maybe we won't say fair, because I agree that is a tough word to have. So maybe it's more in line with norms that we have when if somebody puts in $1 million towards a student athlete and that school just still has a 5-7 record, I don't know if they're going to be that willing to put another $1 million in down the road.
Now, that's very interesting, because we have seen, we have National Signing Day coming up. The early signing period has already taken place, but early signings and affecting NIL opportunities for student athletes versus like signing day, and this is the great unknown, right? I could draft a quarterback into the NFL, or I could maybe pay a guy like Lamar Jackson, for example. I have a known commodity in Lamar Jackson. I know what I'm going to get out of him. If I draft a quarterback, I have no idea. And the NFL and organizations got burned multiple times. Think Sam Bradford. That was the end of that. Now they go with slotted deals depending on where you're picked at. People are getting burned. They are going to get burned. This is going to happen. I'm going to throw out a massive NIL deal for some kid to go wear my T-shirts, and he is going to be a bust. There's no way around it. Not everybody's going to be good. How does NIL affect the high school kids coming in?
So, interestingly, the NCAA is trying to step in there. So about 2 months ago, they came out with some updated guidance that really brought in NIL collectives under the rules of boosters. And because of that, basically were explicit in saying that NIL collectives cannot use the promise of a deal as to influence or to recruit a high school or prospective student athlete to a particular institution. The inducements is the biggest challenge that's just driving coaches, athletic directors, conferences nuts, because that's what is causing some of the craziness in the market right now, if you will. So I think over time we're going to see that collectives aren't going to be able to play that role. But here's the thing. Let's just be honest. Can I be honest on the show for a second?
Absolutely. It's the most fair and honest show in America right here, Luke. I mean, kick it to us straight. What do you got?
Listen, we know that people cheated in college football before name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
So this idea that because of name, image, and likeness, all of a sudden everything is going to be fair and equitable and we're going to have the perfect solution, there's no way. Some people say that just like the NFL stands for not for long, that name, image, and likeness stands for now it's legal. And that's where I think we're going to continue to have challenges when we look at recruiting and inducements.
NFL stands for not for long, NIL, now it's legal.
Bing bong.
Oh, I love that right there, Luke. I love that. It's incredible. So I guess one thing that I've asked a lot about the NIL space, right? Because this is just completely out of control. I happen to have a brown paper bag sitting next to me. Now there is nothing in it but dust. But if there was something in it, right? Why don't we have these massive TV deals with all of these different conferences. How come we can't get everybody together and organize college athletics, especially college football, in a way, shape, and form that the NFL has shown us that will work forever? Now, whether we sign a collective bargaining agreement instead of dividing the pie into two, the actual team itself, so the organization, I'll just use, for example, the University of Michigan football program, and then the University of Michigan football players, they'll probably, the university's going to want a cut of that because, you know how those academics are. Ugh. Anywho, we're not here for that. I'm not here to play any school, in the words of Carl. I'm here to talk about sports. Why don't we just sign a CBA and be done with it and have the players be, we set a salary cap. This is what you can spend. Do whatever you want.
I do think that we're going to get to a point for revenue share. And whether we get to full unionization under collective bargaining or not, I do think that we're going to be moving for certain probably within the next 5 years of student athletes being able to receive a share of the revenue driven by, in particular, college football. And whether that's all student athletes or not is yet to be seen, because in some regards, the National Labor Relations Board, which is the it's the organization that certifies unions, if you will, nationally. They're the ones when Northwestern football wanted to unionize back in 2015. They go through that process. The general counsel, the head lawyer for that organization, wrote a memo last year that said that certain student athletes, talking about football and men's and women's basketball, should be able to unionize and should be able to come together and collectively bargain for their rights. Now, I think that at some point we're going to move to this place where, number one, we are going to see revenue share. I just think the numbers are too big. And when we saw the way in which the NCAA lost at the Supreme Court level on education-related benefits last year in NCAA versus Alston, you know for a fact, just based on the money that's involved, that they would lose on a lawsuit or legal challenge when you have $7.5 billion coming in based on really the product of football and the players not being able to participate. And I think that's why Kevin Warren started having some of those conversations with student athletes, because it's much easier to come up with a plan to avoid lawsuit than to get stuck in a lawsuit and then be stuck with the outcome that comes with it.
God favors the prepared or something like that, right? I mean, Kevin Warren, I like Kevin Warren. I mean, a lot of people, they went after him early because of the whole COVID thing, and he has found a way to navigate. He survived that and then came out strong, swinging for USC and UCLA, and it's, all things are, he could smile. He could sit back and rest a little bit and smile a little bit because he's doing really well for the Big Ten Conference as a whole. Now, you recently, you have a book, Sports Law, A Practical Guide to Protecting the Interests of Athletes. What inspired you to write this book? And in your field, as much as I want to be able to trust everybody, we know that there are people that are more interested in their percentage, their cut, than the overall actual benefit in protecting the student athlete.
Wait, are you telling me that people in the sports world are sometimes out for themselves? Get out of here. That is breaking news right there.
That's what I heard. I can't confirm, but I've heard stories, Lou.
Well, listen, I wrote the book because ultimately I have the benefit on the legal side of working with athletes across all sports, NFL, NBA, hockey, baseball, soccer, and I see firsthand. I'm not an agent, so I am just a lawyer. I'm like a general counsel, head lawyer for individual professional athletes, and I've seen how athletes are so hyper-focused on their sport as they come through, whether they're coming through AAU or these days coming through 7v7 football and working their way through these big programs and onto the professional leagues, that people a lot of times are just out for themselves. And I, as a lawyer focusing just on the individual athlete, want to also make sure that I am equipping other lawyers who have the opportunity to work with athletes to make sure that they're doing the things necessary to protect athletes so that they can have a long-term positive effect on themselves, their families, and their communities.
You know, that ESPN special 30 for 30 came out, and I know a lot of people joked about what took place and, stuff. And I think that actually once you start to sit back and look at, I forget the NHL player that was doing this, but he was breaking down, here's your salary, here's what you're paying in taxes, here's what you're paying for your agent, here's what you're paying for this, that, and the third, here's what you're actually going to ballpark figure go home with. And you think about guys that have been basically swindled by crooks. And to be able to have a trusted accountant, to be able to have a trusted, as you mentioned, general counsel, someone with a law degree and a background in it that can help you navigate what is good, what is bad, what needs to be done. I think it's so invaluable for the athletes so that they are not taken advantage of, because the minute a professional athlete, when they go pro and that signing bonus comes out and that salary comes out, so do like 15 different cousins. And all of a sudden it's like, I don't even know who you are.
Right. Absolutely right. Absolutely. They come out the woodwork. But the funny thing is, especially in some sports like football at the high school level, basketball down to the middle school level, that's where those cousins start coming out, because we're able to identify talent earlier and earlier, and people want to hitch their, wagon to different, players along the way as early as possible. And we need to make sure that athletes are also protected, because they're young people. They're human beings who are trying to navigate a love for their sport with now the business side that oftentimes most people don't prepare them for.
Last one here for you. What was your favorite chapter to write about in your book, and why?
So without question, it was, well, I'll tell you this. I wrote the chapter on name, image, and likeness knowing that immediately once it went to press, it was going to be outdated. So that chapter is going to be updated in a new version here pretty soon. But my favorite chapter to write was on decision-making. I do a lot of engagements with pro teams and with college athletic departments on decision-making, because we teach and train, especially our elite athletes, to make split-second decisions in their sport, but we don't teach them how to slow that decision-making process down for the life decisions that they then need to make, that oftentimes they're doing for the first time. If you ask a basketball player, hey, how many pick and rolls have you guarded in your life, including practice and games, they could say tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. But how many times have you made the decision about picking an agent, or making a decision about, do I want to, get involved with, leaving school early or something along those lines? So we need to teach them how to have a decision-making process. And in that chapter, I go into how you can do that and what that process looks like, and align it right back to how they make decisions in their sport as well.
He is Luke Fedlam. You can find him on Twitter at Luke Fedlam. And folks, this is why I say it's the most fair and honest show in the country. He's a Buckeye. I mean, come on, I got the winged helmet sitting right here on my desk. I got C-Web's jersey behind me, Luke, and look at us. We had a great conversation.
That's
I can't
right.
thank you enough for taking the time to hop on with us this morning and help kind of explain and navigate these waters with us. Would love to have you back in the future.
Hey, thanks so much. Looking forward to it for sure. Have a great day, guys.
Just an awesome, awesome conversation there with Luke Fedlam. Find him on Twitter at Luke Fedlam. We'll step aside. Hour number 2 of X and Bros here on this Wednesday. Coming at you next on the Michigan Sports Network.
Delicious holiday meals are right around the corner when you shop Meijer. Get Meijer's spiral sliced half ham for 89 cents per pound, limit 2. Meijer canned vegetables like green beans are just 39 cents. And Pillsbury refrigerated baked products are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, whip up your favorite holiday desserts with low prices on family favorites like Meijer butter, flour, and sugar. Get more for your money with the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
It's that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account Or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Dirty oil can easily wreak havoc on your vehicle's engine, so be sure to change the oil at recommended intervals. And for a motor oil that outperforms conventional and synthetic blends, try Mobil 1, the full synthetic motor oil that keeps your engine running like new. Ask for Mobil 1 at your local Auto Value Auto Parts store. And don't forget to pick up a Wix XP oil filter to complete the job. Because when it comes to oil changes, we've got you covered at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get it.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Chicago zone. The Blackhawks starting another turnover in front, and Mantha feeding it to Kuznetsov and Mrazek diving. A shot, they score! And it's Alex Ovechkin! And it's 800 goals in the National Hockey League! The bench empties! Alex Ovechkin is the third player in National Hockey League history to score 800 goals!
How about that? Anthony Mantha, Peter Mrazek. There were a lot of former Red Wings involved in that play. I feel like we should get a banner or something for that. Welcome back here. Hour number 2 of X's and Bros. A little flavor in your ear from Alexander Ovechkin. Number 800, a historical night in the NHL last night. Doing a little bit of research here as the broadcast called it, the third player in NHL history to reach the 800 mark. Plateau. Alexander Ovechkin now number 3 all-time, chasing who? Gordie Howe at 801, and the great one, Wayne Gretzky, at 894. What's interesting about this is that Alexander Ovechkin is 18th in points. He's third in goals and 18th in points with 1,444 points. Why is that kind of intriguing? He is one of only 2 players in the top 25 in NHL history in total points to have more goals than assists. Do you know who the other player is? Everybody else on this list, like a guy like Paul Coffey, 1,531 career points.
Yeah.
He's number 14 on the list. He got 396 goals, 1,135 assists. The great one had 894 goals. Wayne Gretzky, 1,963 assists.
Yeah, he has more assists than anybody else has points.
This is also true.
So, I mean, it was, as we say, it was easier to score back then.
When you're facing plumbers.
Yeah.
Well,
when there's no butterfly and they're stacking pads.
You know what the pads look like in the 80s? They look like, I don't know if you guys ever.
They look like real pads.
Well, the pads in the 80s look like the Milek street hockey pads. If you guys ever had played street hockey.
Yes, the foam ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had like the plastic outside covering. Yeah. They were about as wide as a 2x4. And great days.
They were shin guards. That's all they were. They were shin guards.
Glorified shin guards. When I was young, a friend of mine lived on a corner right by our high school, probably about a half a mile away from the high school and in the grade school, to be honest with you, because they shared the same parking lot. But on his street on the corner, it would dead end. And we used to go over there 10, 12, 16 people deep and play hockey outside on that street for hours. And I remember my mother had taken me, I don't know, like Dunham's or somewhere, and I actually got the Milek goalie pads and just could not wait to get those things out of the box. Like, I got to play right. We got to get out there right now. We got to play right. And we did.
To say, yeah, we used to play growing up with kids down the street. And so we'd go down towards their house because it was just, our house is near the main road. Their house was tucked further back in. And if we had more kids, we'd go across the main road to the elementary school and play on the basketball courts because it was the basketball/tennis courts.
Yep.
That were caged in. So we'd just go play there if we had like most of the neighborhood ready to go.
Street hockey was life. Even in high school, you know, we had a pretty good group of guys. The senior class that was ahead of me, there was a group of those guys that loved. I mean, we all love the Red Wings, right? Because we all grew up in that same era together. And we used to do the same thing. There was these tennis courts that were, once again, like 2.5 miles away from the store. And we would drive over there. And the one guy had a truck, and we'd just load everything up in this guy's truck and drive over there. And we would play. Like, we'd have you'd be able to run a couple lines out there because it was great. Some of my most favorite after-school non-athletic department associated activities took place playing street hockey. And it's, man, that's the Milek pads.
Say, when we go to the school, we'd sometimes get, not the cops called on us, but like if the cops were like kind of taking a break, they'd just park in the school and just watch us.
Well, you guys had fans?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like they just sit, because, you know,
Nothing
some
else
cops,
to do.
they just kind of, they park in a spot, sit there for like
Small
20
town.
minutes. You know, you see the car just kind of hanging around. So they just pull on up, just kind of sit there and watch, and then if they got a call, they'd go on do their business.
Hey, and street hockey's still life. You know, we're 2 seasons away removed from a championship at Ottawa Park down there in the Greater Toledo Inline Hockey League. And last year, I mean, made the playoffs and got drilled in games 2 and 3. We were a little undermanned. We had a few guys that couldn't make it. You gotta run out there with like 7 or 8 guys. That's pretty tough. So tough end to our season this year, but still play, still love it. Let's get to USDA Scott, who's on hold. Good morning, Scott. How are you, my friend?
Oh, like I was telling Danny, better now. I was in the hospital for a little over a week here, but
I wondered where the hell you have been. Everything good? You check out all right?
Yeah, I had just some internal bleeding that they had to find and check out. We don't need to go into that.
You gotta start eating boneless meat. You can't just be gnawing on the bones there, Scott. I get it.
It's more acid related, but anyway.
Guy's driving around eating a tomahawk steak.
Hey, I get out of the hospital yesterday, and the guys I go golfing with down in, we go every spring down to Crooked Tree down by Louisville. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but
yep.
They have a big deal where you can golf for nothing for 4 or 5 days. But anyhow, the same guys, we just put tickets. We're going to the Carolina game. We're bringing the wives there and all this. I said, Christmas Eve.
Who's going to Carolina game?
My buddies. They got tickets. They got hotels. They got the whole 9 yards, and they're gonna tailgate. And they consider that our championship. So anyhow, I said, you call my wife, you call my kids and my grandkids, and tell them that Papa's canceling Christmas. I said, I'm in.
Yeah, you might as well start packing your things now if you're going to try to pull that off on Christmas. Look, I love the Lions, but at the end of the day, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. That sounds like a bad life choice there, Scott.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's my decision.
Yeah, that's you know what? I don't even have to make this decision. I'll let her make it for me. That's an easy out right there.
Hey, yeah, my brother. Hey, and the same two of the same 3 guys are the ones that after the Miami game were posting and calling me and everything else saying, I'll never watch the Lions again. I'll never watch the Lions again.
Oh, that's what happens. They turn over like pancakes. You know, the griddle gets a little warm. Time to flip. That's what they do. Big flippers. Like that show, Flipper.
That's why I respect you, because you stayed even keel with me. And we were just saying, things are going in the right direction. They may not look good right now, but they're going in the right direction. And now they're really going in the right direction. And, playoffs, maybe, but I mean, we're still the Lions. You know, we still give up 25, 27 points a game. And, God, how awful would it be if we're 9-7, we're playing Packers? They win 3 in a row. They're 8-8.
And we beat them to go to the playoffs?
Oh no, that would be incredible.
Yeah. I think the good part is that what we have here in this season is that we have visible, concrete proof that the plan that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have established between the two of them and what they want to do, that it's working. And they've had to make some tough decisions in order for this to work.
Long term.
Yeah.
These are young kids that are performing.
Yes, they are.
It's long term. And this thing about that whatever his name is, at McShay on ESPN saying we're going to pick C.J. Stroud. That's Jared Goff. If he keeps going like he is, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's not only a Pro Bowler, but I mean.
Well, hey Scott, we'll talk about it next because we got to hit the break. But we'll hop into this next here after on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Put that tomahawk steak down. Keep listening to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beancarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Thomas stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Carter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
Dirty oil can easily wreak havoc on your vehicle's engine, so be sure to change the oil at recommended intervals. And for a motor oil that outperforms conventional and synthetic blends, try Mobil 1, the full synthetic motor oil that keeps your engine running like new. Ask for Mobil 1 at your local Auto Value Auto Parts store. And don't forget to pick up a Wix XP oil filter to complete the job. Because when it comes to oil changes, we've got you covered at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get it.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. Do not forget, folks, in less than 5 hours from now, we will be selecting our winner for the Maize and Blue trip of a lifetime. 2 tickets to the Fiesta Bowl, Glendale, Arizona. You're going to be staying at a luxury resort in Scottsdale for 3 nights. Round trip air on the chartered flight. Breakfast every morning. Post-game meal and party. This is the trip of a lifetime here. It's very easy. Oh, telephone. Very easy to register to enter. Text the keyword Go Blue. Send it to 21,000. Go Blue, all one word, GOBLUE. Send it to 21000, and you'll be entered to win. You'll get a text that asks you for your birthday just to confirm, because you got to be 21 plus in order to win this. Once you confirm your birthday, day, month, year, you'll get one more text that says, hey, you're entered to win. If you want more information, click this link. That'll send you to MichiganSportsNetwork.com, where you can read all about the details of the Maize and Blue trip of a lifetime. Big thanks to our friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Eagle Casino and Sports for partnering with us, along with the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan. It is hour 2 at segment 2, which means it's time for a little Detroit Lions trivia. I like this one a lot because we got to go way back in time. And this is a name that has been dropped on this program during trivia multiple times. In fact, it might happen once a week, because some of these questions are just straight preposterous. On November 28th of 1935, the Lions took a big step forward to winning their NFL Western Division title with a 14-2 victory over the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving Day. What Detroit star scored all of his team's points that day with 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points? Back in the day where you'd tackle, run, kick, get water, then paint a roof on the way home. Paint a roof. Paint a house.
Dutch Clark.
Bing bong.
Yeah.
Put it on the board. Yes. That's great. Nicely done there.
I mean, we got to be getting close to the end of your calendar. The year's
Did you
about
ask for a new one for Christmas?
Would you like to continue on?
Should we do a different sport?
Yeah. Should you ask for like a Pistons trivia or like a Tigers?
Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Maybe a league-wide one?
Ooh. I was actually gifted for my birthday a 2023 Detroit Lions trivia calendar.
Perfect.
Right, so there we go. So now, instead of the 2019 season, because these were wrote 3 years ago, we can dive into the 2021 season.
Former Detroit Lions head coach Matt Patricia led the New England Patriots in total inches gained per yard. Guys, that offense stinks. He stinks. I am so glad we don't have to deal with him anymore.
How many number 2 pencils did Matt Patricia eat as
Eat
Lions head coach?
What a duh. Noah from Toledo says, what are your thoughts on the Toledo women's basketball game against Michigan? Hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Noah, man, it's great to hear from you, partner. Haven't seen a text from Noah in a while. Game was great. I told a lot of people that I work with that Toledo had a really good chance to win that game.
That's actually an email, just so you know. Hit us up on the xbmornings@gmail.
Ooh, fan feedback email inbox, xbmornings@gmail.com. But the Toledo women's basketball team has great guard play, and they came ready to play. It was a great atmosphere. I think for a regular season game, that was probably one of the best atmospheres in the country. You might get South Carolina will be better because they'll have more fans. But I would say, I don't know what the attendance was. It felt like a 50-50 split. Toledo traveled really well. Michigan came up a little bit short. But for Michigan, okay, it's another game on the schedule. You're number 14 in the country. You don't have much to worry about. You're probably going to make the tournament as an at-large if you don't win the Big Ten, and that's fine. But for a team like Toledo out of the MAC, that game means everything. You need that non-conference dub because of how they got shafted last year. It was an absolute travesty. 19-0 in league play in the regular season. 29-2 overall. And didn't make the tournament as an at-large. So that was just absolutely criminal. That's why Mark Emmert is on the naughty list. He should have stepped in and said, I'm going to impose an injunction here. Get the Rockets in the big dance. Real quick, because I don't think we ever gave you the answer to this, because we started talking about My Like Hockey pads and walking down nostalgia lane, and that happens from time to time in this program. So we appreciate you guys, being on the journey with us. Alexander Ovechkin is now third all-time in goals with number 800 scored last night. How incredible was that? Good for him. That's awesome. But he is only 18th all-time in the points list, only. In the all-time points list for the NHL, there are only two guys in the top 25 that actually have more goals than assists. Alexander Ovechkin is one. Do you know who the second guy would be?
You already gave it to us. Maybe our caller knows the answer.
Oh, we got somebody on the phone line over there.
We do. Br0's is on the line.
Br0's, do you know the answer to this question?
Right off the top of my head, 99? Number 99?
Who, Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah.
No, he has more assists than anybody else has points in league history. This person has to have more goals than
more goals.
More goals than assists and be in the top 25 all-time in points, because Ovechkin, with his 800th last night, became only the third player to ever reach the 800 mark, and he is only one of two guys in the top 25 of the all-time points list with more goals than assists. Everybody else is loaded up.
I don't know. I don't know.
How about this? How about this name then for you? Brett Hull.
He's worthy. Yeah, very good.
Brett Hull is number 25 all-time in points scored with 1,391. He has 741 goals and 650 assists to his name. Who's ahead of him? Guys like Luke Robitaille, Doug Gilmour, Adam Oates, Sidney Crosby, Ovi, Paul Coffey, Mark Recchi, Ray Bourque, Esposito, Joe Sakic, Stevie Y, Mario Lemieux, Ron Francis. Some good names on that list. All-time Hockey Hall of Famers. Really fun goal there for Ovechkin, who got the pass from Anthony Mantha, the former Detroit Red Wing, and then had to finish it off against Peter Mrazek, the former Detroit Red Wing.
And that could be both their claims to fame for their entire career.
Wow.
Unless Washington goes on to win the cup this year for Mantha, that could be both Mrazek and Mantha's claim to their career. Hey, we assisted and we were involved on Ovi's 800th goal. That would
Peter
be
Mrazek
cool.
should get a puck from that game too. Said, I surrendered Ovechkin's 800th goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have to find a way. Actually, I don't know. I'm actually kind of lost. I was sitting here for my thoughts, and now I'm just thinking about last night, and they were just checked to death by the Carolina Hurricanes. Every play, I have not watched the game so much. The Wings did it a couple times this year when they were winning, where they played an in-your-face style, heavy forechecking game where all the players knew the right spots to be in on the ice, that where the structure forced the play, and that's what Carolina did. They forced the puck movement by the Red Wings, and every time the Red Wings made an outlet pass to what they thought would be an open player, there was a Hurricane player stride for stride with that player. So for probably 58 minutes of the game, because I didn't see too many times when that didn't happen, Carolina was just in perfect position every time on the ice, and that goes credit to Rod Brind'Amour for having them well coached and being ready to play. And
null and void there on the scoring chances for the Detroit Red Wings. GB, I got to tell you about DraftKings, and we got to hit the break because we got Logan Lamorandier on the other side. But definitely a tough night there for the Wingdings, who just couldn't get a good chance. Love you, GB. New customers bet $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game. Get $150 in free bets. When they do, download the DraftKings app right now. Get in on the holiday hoops action. Sign up using the promo code HUGE. $5 money line bet. $150 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings with the promo code HUGE. If you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 plus. Michigan only. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. Bonus issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/basketball terms. Logan Lamorandier on the other side. This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Dirty oil can easily wreak havoc on your vehicle's engine, so be sure to change the oil at recommended intervals. And for a motor oil that outperforms conventional and synthetic blends, try Mobil 1, the full synthetic motor oil that keeps your engine running like new. Ask for Mobil 1 at your local Auto Value Auto Parts store. And don't forget to pick up a Wix XP oil filter to complete the job. Because when it comes to oil changes, we've got you covered at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get it.
Imagine this. Winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now covering the Detroit Lions for the Lions Wire, part of Sports Illustrated's coverage. Our good buddy Logan Lamorandier. Find him on Twitter at Lamorandier. Logan, my friend, I got a great story for you to start this show this morning with you joining us. Before I even ask you how you're doing, we got a new guy working at the grocery store, so I asked my mother, I say, hey, what's his name? And she goes, Lamorandier. And I said, what? And my mother goes, yeah, Logan. That's how I remember it. And so I just wanted you to know that that's how my mother remembers her own employees' names. It's all because of you. How the hell are you this morning, partner?
Oh, I'm doing great. That's a great little story there. I appreciate it. Usually everyone just thinks of Logan, and I think of either Wolverine or maybe if they're a little older, Logan's Run. That's an old movie, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And the film, what was it? Was the film called Logan or was it called Wolverine? The last one with Hugh Jackman that was really, really good.
You know, considering it's my name, I should remember, but I know there was one that was just called Logan, and I haven't seen it. The whole Marvel series, I need to probably do a lot of catching up on there. I haven't seen all that many of them, but yeah, there was a movie that was just called Logan.
And the one with Hugh Jackman was rated R, and that's why it was really good. It was taking those films like X-Men and whatnot and making it for its original, you know, the older audience, right? I don't need any more Kids Bop movies, right? I don't have any kids, so I don't need any of those films. Like, give me something with a little juice to it. Give me something like the Detroit Lions, the hottest team in the National Football League. They beat the Minnesota Vikings 34-23. Another game, Logan, that we go into halftime up 14-7. I didn't have any fear in this game. I felt it the night before. I was like, they're going to win. They came out, and this team has something different about them that I don't know how to describe or categorize or quantify. But when they get a lead, I just don't feel like the bottom's going to fall out.
Yeah, it's unusual just because even when the Lions started out with 5 penalties, they were overcoming those penalties. They were overcoming mistakes. Their defense is getting turnovers. The offense just continues to seem to do whatever they want to do to opponents, and it's just a very different feel. And it's crazy how it took a complete 180 to compare to where we're at earlier in the season. And I just feel like everything's clicking. You know, everything that we looked at the beginning of the season, we're like, well, there's a lot of potential, and I agreed there was a lot of potential, but I didn't think it would all come to fruition and all these younger players take a step up and really started getting better this quickly and just all of a sudden. So it's I will say I was a little nervous there for a little while in the third quarter, but it just started seeming like the Lions could do whatever they wanted to do, and their defense was making stops, and the offense is just, it's so fun to see this offense really at full health outside of right guard. Yeah, a few guys are dinged up a little bit here and there, but for the most part, really, they have health on their side right now, and you're seeing all these players that you expected. They're exceeding expectations. We talked about expectations all year long, and right now they're definitely exceeding them.
Yeah, it's been really a lot of fun, and Ford Field has been, you know, so much different. I wish these next 2 games would be at home, but they are not. And you mentioned, you know, a couple guys dinged up. I always laugh. John Kaminsky running around out there with oven mitts on his hands, tackling. And you know, I want to get to Jameson Williams. Obviously, catches that 41-yard bomb for a touchdown, in which Jared Goff said it looked like he kicked it to him, which I thought was really funny because he did. I mean, he underthrew him, and Jameson Williams is fast. He's real fast. But on the play in which the Lions got a rushing touchdown from Justin Jackson, who was able to turn the corner, Jameson Williams went out there and threw a block. And I mean, he was headhunting there. He was going for contact. He knew, I got to find somebody and I got to hit somebody on this play. And I thought that was a really good sign, because I think a lot of times, you know, a lot of wide receivers, they get thought of as just pass catchers, and they're prima donnas. They're just running down the field wide open and looking for fantasy stats and in celebrations in the end zone. But a big part of playing that position is being a willing and able blocker down the field. And only in game number 2, I'm 100% sold on that young man.
Yeah, he's got that aggressive nature in him. And even, you know, being a gunner, he was a great gunner at Alabama, which is not a lot of receivers, at least, you know, the star receivers, or that, you know, they're labeled as divas a little bit. I don't think that's Jameson Williams. Yeah, he has a little bit of flash to him, but at the same time, he really gets after it. And that's what you really like about him. And going to be great seeing him come along towards the end of the season and hopefully have a few more big plays and just keep making great blocks, because you need that with a running game too. And the Lions running game, there's been one negative during this winning streak, is the running game's kind of fallen off a little bit. Now they're still able to run when they need to, and that's the most important thing. But as far as establishing the run, you're not getting those explosive plays like we were seeing at the beginning of the season, but the passing offense has more than made up for it.
Yeah, and part of that running game too, Logan, as I was watching back, the very first play of the game, the Lions drive the Vikings defensive line 4 or 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. I mean, the opening snap, they just went out there and said, you know what, we're gonna set the tone right here. And I believe it was Jamal Williams with the carry. I feel like right now there's a little bit of dancing going on, a little bit of indecision. We know that indecision kills if you're a running back. Just get north and south, because the line is. I mean, they're doing an incredible job from a pass blocking standpoint to a rushing standpoint. I just feel like we're getting a little jumpy. We're doing a little east and west right now in the run game. We just got to get north and south and do so fast.
Yeah, that's what Jamal Williams is typically always so good at. He gets what's blocked for him, and he's usually very decisive. North-south, he doesn't go down easily at first contact, and he almost always falls forward. And it's kind of the opposite with Swift, where you can still tell he always wants to get the big play, and he's a little bit more hesitant at times to hit holes. But that's kind of a give and take scenario with Swift. You know that big play opportunity is there for him, but sometimes he's going to make you pull your hair out when you want him to get just a couple more yards, and that's all you need. But it's definitely the case, I think, where, you just want these guys to keep getting yards, and it hasn't happened all that much. And I think the offensive line, watching the offensive line, they're just dominant at times, but every once in a while there's a few slip-ups, which is going to happen in the NFL. But I would love to see a game kind of come back here soon where the Lions ground game can just dominate. Because I think overall the stats looked okay against the Vikings, but a lot of that came on C.J. Moore's fake punt that he had. That was a big run.
Took that next one right. Just took it right out of my mouth. The Lions defense comes out in the second half. They force a punt. That's a great start. And then they score a touchdown on their opening possession of the second half, because on 4th and 8 from the Detroit 26, Dan Campbell and this coaching staff, I would have loved to have been on the headset for that call, because you're at your own 26-yard line. If you don't get this, I mean, my goodness, the repercussions of this would have just been it would have been back to Dan Campbell doesn't know what he's doing. Everybody's, fire everybody. That's what would have happened, because the Vikings would have scored. At the Detroit 26, C.J. Moore catches that direct snap, and he runs like hell on that play. Now, I do wonder if there is, do you try to hand it off to C.J. Moore? Do you put him in Deuce's room for a little while and just to see what you might have here? That was an angry run.
It was. And I think that's the play. It's like one of those things where it's just so crazy it just might work type of deal. Because I'm sure the Vikings said, yeah, Dan Campbell's aggressive, but he's not that aggressive where he's going to fake punt, that backed up. And they did it, and it was a huge gain. And C.J. Moore, he's got some wheels on him, and he's an athletic guy. And once he got in the open field, he was cruising. But he wasn't going down easily. It's just it's same with the Penei Sewell catch. Again, it's something just so crazy that not a lot of right tackles you'd probably feel comfortable catching that. But with Sewell being such an athlete, you got to give him a lot of credit. And so I think that's just where the Lions are at right now. They're just catching people off guard with these trick plays, and it's a lot of fun. And as you said, if they don't work though, yeah, you're gonna feel some heat for them. But when they're working and going in your favor, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The amount of confidence you have to have. And to think that on 4th and 7 earlier in the game, in the first half at the Minnesota 40, they punted it away. And here we go on our own 26. Talking about, nobody expected it. Hell no, if you punt it, throw it 40, there's no way. Oh, yes, way. And C.J. Moore, there was a point there right near the line to gain. It looked like, oh, no, he's going to get. And then, nope, he just kept on running. And good for that young man. All right, so let's get to the big brewing question that I have here. A friend of the program from Yahoo Sports, his name is Frank Schwab, just wrote a big piece in his NFL Power Rankings, in which he had the Lions all the way at 11. I read that, about fell out of my chair. Does Jared Goff's hot streak force the Lions to pass on drafting a quarterback in 2023? after last year, it was like, all right, we know that, hey, we get through the upcoming season, and we know that we're going to part ways with Jared Goff. We're going to go in, get a little cap relief from that deal, draft a quarterback. We should be good enough at that point throughout the rest of the roster, talent-wise, that whoever comes in should be pretty ready to go and have some success. We've built enough success around him. Now, Jared Goff is playing so well that do we pump the brakes on that plan? And, there was a report that came out earlier in the week that said Jared Goff, the Lions are planning on him being the starter in 2023. It seems like kind of a luxury here, but it does put the organization in a little bit of a quandary with a very tough question.
Yeah, so I think the Lions might like Goff more than most, and he's definitely been playing well lately, and that's great. It's a great problem to have, and I still think that Goff is, if you have pieces around him and, you have healthy talent there, he is a very capable quarterback. But I still think there's a limited ceiling. And so I think what he's doing is you're not being forced to draft a quarterback by any means. And if there's not a quarterback that Brad Holmes absolutely loves when their first pick comes up on the draft board, I don't think you have to reach for one or anything like that, because Goff is fine. And if you add more talent to a team that's on the right trajectory, and you're adding 2 first-round draft picks and, plenty of top draft picks after the first round, all of a sudden that the team's looking a lot better, and Jared Goff is going to be even more comfortable. So I just don't think if someone slips and the Lions really like a quarterback, then, yeah, you can take them and have a cheap quarterback for 5 years. And if Goff's playing as well as he is now at the end of the year, he would have probably some trade value because, yes, his contract's about $30 million a year, which is pricey. But when you look at other quarterback contracts, it could be a lot worse. And probably guys of Goff's caliber on the open market today would be getting more than Goff's getting paid now. So I still think it's a big price tag, but at least he's been playing up to it the last month and a half or so. And you just put more pieces around him, and you saw what he could do in 2018 with the Rams, where he took him to the Super Bowl. My concern's always just been the limitations with him. If you face a really good pass rush, fortunately he has a great line. Under pressure, he's not the greatest quarterback, not a lot of mobility there, but he's able to distribute the ball. And I just feel like the Lions are put in a good spot where they don't necessarily have to reach for a quarterback. They can just pick best player available again. And if it's not a quarterback, so be it. And if the Lions finish off in 2023 with a decent record and they're kind of out of that quarterback range, then I think that's at the point where you have your young core in place from all these top draft picks, and you really get aggressive and try to move up and get your quarterback if that ends up being the case. So it's tough to say right now because Goff is playing so well that you would move on from him. But you're just put in a tough situation because you want to take a lottery ticket on a player that you draft who might be just what Goff is, and he's cheaper, or he could be even worse than Goff, or he could be better. It's really tough to predict quarterbacks, and all these NFL executives are getting paid all this money, and there's busts every year at the quarterback position. So you're just taking a gamble. So with Goff, at least you know what you have in him, and if you build a team around him, you can win some games.
And there are going to be some teams that are looking. I know the Atlanta Falcons have moved towards their rookie quarterback, Desmond Ridder, but the New Orleans Saints, the Indianapolis Colts, the Arizona Cardinals, who knows what will happen with Kyler Murray's knee, and then what his future kind of holds. But there will be some teams in the market. Tom Brady said that everything is on the table for his free agency, whether or not he's going to stay in Tampa Bay. And it's been really nice for Jared Goff because you mentioned the key word there is value. He shows some value, some good veteran leadership. It's been good. If they're in a position in the draft, would you be comfortable with them saying, hey, you know what, Jared Goff's still going to be our starter in 2023. But let's say they pick at 6 and whatever quarterback ends up falling at 6 or 7. And they're like, we're going to take our quarterback of the future, but we're going to redshirt him this year. That's a strategy that has proven to work in the past as well.
Yeah, that's the quarterback. If the Lions were to draft a quarterback this year, they're going to be in a really good situation because they have the pieces around them. They have a good offensive line. They could sit behind Jared Goff for at least a year and kind of learn the ropes. And you could be looking at a quarterback in the future, even with 2 years left on Goff's deal. You just wonder how Goff would respond to that. You'd hope he'd take it well. But I think that would be, again, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I have a lot more homework to do in terms of draft scouting and really deep diving into these quarterbacks. But, probably at the beginning of the season, I would say I was a little bit higher on these quarterbacks than I am now. And that just might line up that way where the Lions might not feel like there's a quarterback that they have to draft on the board whenever they draft first.
The New York Jets, it is a road game. It is Sunday. It's 1 o'clock on CBS. Gut feeling going into this one, now knowing that, even though he's listed as questionable, Mike White will be available to play quarterback for the New York Jets.
Yeah, I think the Jets are they're a good team. They have a pretty solid record. They have a good defense. That offense with Mike White looks a lot better than, surprisingly, with Zach Wilson. He's fallen off. Talk about quarterback bust. Second overall draft pick not long ago, and I don't know what's going to happen with him. But the defense, I think, it is playing well. The Lions defense is playing well, and the Jets offense, I think they can stop them. It's just, can the Lions offense continue to do what they've been doing the past few weeks? And I think they can. It's just they spread the ball out. They have plenty of playmakers. They have guys stepping up. That Goff to Shark connection is really starting to heat up after Shark is looking healthy. So my gut feeling is I feel like the Lions should win. It's going to be tough that it's on the road, but just with the way the Lions have been playing of late, it's tough to really, bet against them, I guess, to say at this point.
It really will be something on Sunday if they can pull that off. Oh, my goodness. Then Carolina, a little bit of a surge. Okay, we'll hold our horses, and we'll wait till next week on that. His name is Logan Lamorandier. Find him on Twitter at @LLamorandier. And if you have anybody named Logan in your business, you can't remember what their name is, just think of this man on Wednesday mornings here on X's and Bros. Logan, my friend, is always partner. Greatly appreciate the time.
Of course. I appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Yeah, I was laughing years ago. Logan and I have been doing this together on the radio for a long time. And I was laughing because one time my mother had asked me, she said, "What about that Logan Lamorandier?" I said, "What about him?" She goes, "Is he single?" I said, no, why? I was like, "Why are you asking?" "Well, I was asking for your sister." And I'm like, I wouldn't do that to Logan. He's a nice guy. Bing bong. Why would I do that to him? I like him. I want him on the radio with me. What's the matter with you?
You brought out the grandma death voice for your mother again. How nice.
So I was trying to explain that to Logan, and he was laughing. He's like, "I'm fighting a cold. I can't laugh too hard." And he was laughing to the point where he started coughing and I said that, and my mom doesn't actually sound like that. Maybe to you, but to me, that's what she's.
I feel like she's going to call a technical foul on us soon.
That's a technical foul. The fact that we haven't put that in the system, I can't wait. Tom Izzo's going to be at Chrysler. He's going to get teed up, and then you should see the coach on the screen. That's a technical foul. That would be great. Are you kidding me? Why are we not doing this? Somebody tell me. All right, coming up in hour number 3, the coach, Kyle Barlow, he's down in Tampa. They're getting ready to take on the Florida Gators. We'll talk some shooty hoops with him, get into a little bit of some football season thoughts as well. Don't go anywhere. Play headlines and more. All coming up here on X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go in the huddle.
1, 2, 3, top flight.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a new day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. As we inch closer to the Fiesta Bowl featuring the second-ranked Michigan Wolverines against number 3 TCU, let's dive into the numbers this week on the Michigan side. Wolverines enter with the second-best offense overall in the Big Ten, averaging 453.5 yards per game, even though their passing offense ranked 8th in yards per contest. It was the old-fashioned Big Ten ground and pound to a tune of 243 yards per game, which led the Big Ten and got Michigan to scoring 40 points per night, which was actually the second highest mark, trailing only the Buckeyes at 44.5. The Maize and Blue defense, just the same. Second overall in the conference, allowing 13.4 points against, which was 5th best in the nation, and one of only 3 units in the nation to allow less than 86 yards rushing against. TCU is going to have their hands full on New Year's Eve.
Dirty oil can easily wreak havoc on your vehicle's engine, so be sure to change the oil at recommended intervals. And for a motor oil that outperforms conventional and synthetic blends, try Mobil 1, the full synthetic motor oil that keeps your engine running like new. Ask for Mobil 1 at your local Auto Value Auto Parts store. And don't forget to pick up a Wix XP oil filter to complete the job. Because when it comes to oil changes, we've got you covered at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get
It's
it.
that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner!
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown to Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 3 on this Wednesday, the 14th day of December 2022. Big day in sports yesterday. In case you missed it, we'll get into all of that coming up, as well as the coach, Kyle Barlow. He's down in Tampa right now, preparing for a big matchup against the Florida Gators. We'll talk a little shooty hoops with Coach Barlow. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. You can hit us up in our fan feedback email inbox as well, xbmornings@gmail.com. And you can find us online all the time, MichiganSportsNetwork.com, MichiganSportsNetwork.com. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, it was a big night last night in the sports world. History in the making. Some former Red Wings involved on the play as well.
Chicago zone. The Blackhawks starting another turnover in front, and Mantha feeding it to Kuznetsov, and Mrazek diving. A shot! They score! And it's Alex Ovechkin! And it's 800 goals in the National Hockey League! The bench empties! Alex Ovechkin is the 3rd player in National Hockey League history to score 800 goals!
John Walton on the call there for the Washington Capitals.
Friend of the
Congratulations to Ovi, radio voice of the Caps. And do you think he wrote that down ahead of time? Like, do you think that he had, like, you know it's coming?
It was just weird because, like, even before the game, there was, like, for Ovi to get 3 goals last night, they were talking about, like, oh, it's plus 2,000 for Ovi to get to 800 tonight. And so I was like, that's a little weird that they're like, you know. They're like propping it up. It's like there's bets out. It's like the 3 goals is quite a bit. And then he scores 2 goals in 9 minutes. First 9 minutes of the game. It's like, okay, this feels like a script.
It does. It like, I mean, just masterful. Absolutely masterful. To be able to pull off the hat trick itself. I mean, and to get 800 now 1 goal shy of Gordie Howe to move into 2nd place all-time. Ovi after the game.
Ovi, an absolutely incredibly historic night. Just the 3rd player in the National Hockey League, in the history of the National Hockey League, to score 800 goals. What does this mean to you?
It's a special moment, how I said in the locker room. Special moment for me, for the team, for my teammates, obviously organization and fans who watched the game, be in this moment at the rink, you know. Thanks, Chicago fans. Lots of Caps fans was there. It's, it's special, and it's a pretty cool moment.
His English is really good. His English is really good, and you got to remember, anytime somebody's speaking broken English, that's because they already speak another language. So you got to give him some credit there. Just a magnificent night for Alexander Ovechkin. And obviously, with all of the, I'm not going to lie, it did cross my mind. I did think about it as they were, showing the Ovi and his family. It's not them, so you have to separate the two. But it is kind of strange when you think about what is taking place in his home country. Kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person that thought about it like that. I can't be the only person that thought about it like that. Maybe I am. I could be a weirdo myself. But it's like here you are, you're making, your career is taken care of financially. You have all of these, your loved ones surrounding you, and you look at how the conflict right now, the war in Ukraine, and how so many people won't have any moments anymore with any of their family members, whether in direct combat or as a piece of collateral damage. There, when you go to war, it's interesting, very interesting how it all kind of plays out. And guys who have been very outspoken about it, like Dominik Hasek, who he's Czech, and you can understand that why it would be such a concern for him. But he doesn't want any Russian players doing anything. And it's you try to separate the two. So interesting. Dan, I thought that I'd heard you say something. I wasn't sure. Did you say we had a phone call?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's all right. I'm just hearing stuff. All right, here we go. We have the.
But I was going to say this is the
14th
14th anniversary of the George W. Bush almost getting hit by shoes.
Sometimes you got
14 years ago. Alex Ovechkin had
who throws a shoe?
200
honestly.
goals then. He had 200.
That's crazy. A lot of people throw shoes. That is a shoe is definitely something that it's not widely used here, but in other countries, the shoe, the sandal is a
steel-toe boot.
The shahata.
Yeah, the chancla. You throw a Red Wing boot at somebody. Let's get maybe that should be the American calling card for discipline or distaste. Instead of throwing a sandal, you just get a Red Wing to the head. Call or text the keyword Go Blue. Send that to 21,000. Go Blue to 21000. You could win a trip to the Fiesta Bowl for two, including round trip air to see number 3 TCU and number 2 Michigan go head-to-head in the college football playoff semifinal there in Glendale, Arizona. 3-night stay in a luxurious Scottsdale resort. It's all there. It's basically an all-inclusive package. It is the trip of a lifetime. It is the greatest giveaway in the history of sports radio in either Michigan or Ohio, because we broadcast in both. We cross enemy lines. We go south of the border into the Glass City, and it's the greatest giveaway ever. I mean, you look at the total value of this package, it's unbeatable. It's unbeatable.
This is like a price. This is like a Price is Right trip, like the Showcase Showdown. You have to guess the value of this because there's so much involved in it that you this is a Showcase Showdown.
It is
giveaway.
Hit the music, Anthony.
Oh man, hey, I wasn't prepared for the Showcase Showdown, but that's exactly what it is. The only thing that you're missing right now. The only thing you're missing
is like an ATV.
Is a brand new car. What? Are you kidding me? You guys are giving away what? Yeah, we're giving away this trip right here. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the total value is. But there's there are some people that give out, Super Bowl trips or whatever. You're not getting anything like this. Chartered air. You ever been on a chartered flight? Now you can say you have. 3-night stay in Scottsdale. You know what that's running you right now, especially for New Year's? Breakfast every morning, post-game meal / party, access to all the events, transfers to and from. Everywhere you got to go, you just get on these giant tour bus. That's all you do. You just hop on the bus.
Anthony Bellino on speed dial?
Oh, don't call me. I'll be asleep. 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. local time radio is going to be electric. The Showcase Showdown brought to you by our good friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, Eagle Casino and Sports, the Michigan Sports Network, and the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan. Wow, just awesome. All you have to do is text the keyword Go Blue, send it to 21,000. A winner's going to be announced at noon. So if you waited out to the last minute, now is the time. Grab the phone, Go Blue, all one word, send it to 21,000. All right, real quick, here's what else is happening in the sports world. Tests have confirmed that the Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray has a torn ACL, is going to be done for the year. What will even be ready for next year? I don't know who that source was that said, it might not be torn. Okay, we're not going to speculate, but non-contact injuries when somebody's cutting is usually not good, especially when they have to get carted off the field. How about we not speculate on speculation and just wait for the MRI? The Devontae Parker injury is being reviewed by the Players Association. against New England. The Celtics win a wild one in overtime last night after blowing a 20-point lead to the Lake Show. They did close out the game 122-118. A hat trick for the Capitals captain, Alexander Ovechkin, 800 career goals, now trails Gordie Howe at 801. And the sad news of the day, Mike Leach, the head coach of Mississippi State, has passed away, died after being hospitalized after suffering a severe heart attack. So our thoughts and prayers are with the Leach family as college football loses a living legend. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Hey, this is Matt Shepard. Sign up using my bonus code, ShepBet1000, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. When you register with BetMGM, you're going to get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever before. Sign up today and find out why nothing beats a win at the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter my bonus code, ShepBet1000, and place your first wager risk-free. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. This is a new customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you think you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Delicious holiday meals are right around the corner when you shop Meijer. Get Meijer Spiral Sliced Half Ham for 89 cents per pound, limit 2. Meijer canned vegetables like green beans are just 39 cents. And Pillsbury refrigerated baked products are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, whip up your favorite holiday desserts with low prices on family favorites like Meijer butter, flour, and sugar. Get more for your money with the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Lionel Messi yesterday giving Argentina goal number 1 over Croatia.
Back for Br0's. Got closed down before he could get it in. Messi reaching out for that ball. It's going to work. Julian Alvarez, he's got the support of Molina coming up to his right. Alvarez wants to run it himself. On my ball back to it does! One end of the field to the other. 2-0 Argentina.
Julian Alvarez with 2 goals. For Argentina, they advance to the World Cup final. Congratulations to Argentina. Congratulations to Lionel Messi. It might be the final World Cup appearance for Lionel Messi. So historic there. Could also be on the losing side, my Balkan brothers from Croatia, could also be the end of Luka Modric's run in the World Cup. So we'll be, kind of paying attention to it and what happens here and what happens next. And as we look at the sports calendar, the biggest travesty is the fact that this isn't happening during the summer, because then it gives us something worth watching. I was thinking about this yesterday, to where we had the game between Argentina and Croatia. I'm a big fan of Lionel Messi. If you know the story of he and his wife, Antonella, and 3 little baby boys, like, God bless him, just winning at life. And sometimes some people are so good at the game of life, you just got to applaud it. Like, it is, but I like Croatia, former, region of old Yugoslavia. So anytime that there is a country, whether it's Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia, any of the Albania, any of those countries, I'll always pull for them. But I'm a big Messi guy. I'm going to take Messi over Ronaldo. That's just me. And it was the 3-0 win there, so they'll advance to the final today. At 2 o'clock, you will get Morocco against France. This is a massive, massive game. Winner punches their ticket to the World Cup final. That's it. And then we're all done for the 2022 World Cup. And, you'll get the consolation game on Saturday. And then on Sunday at 10 a.m. on Fox, we could start our day, get that game in early on Fox before we watch NFL football. A really good Sunday. But Argentina just awaiting the winner. Odds are it's probably going to be France. But if Morocco can continue this crazy run that they are on, it'd be a massive upset. Be bad news for Kylian Mbappe. But we shall see. And as I was thinking about what this post-football world is going to look like here in about a month or so. I mean, obviously, with the extension of the regular season, that benefits us. Although it's still the same amount of games, that extra week of regular season football, it matters more. And then we get into the playoffs. We have expanded the playoffs, which is great. That is awesome for us. And I was like, man, if the World Cup would have been held, last summer or, whenever, what was it supposed to be? I forget what year it was. Was it? Yeah, it's supposed to be this year, right? 2018? Yeah, no, 2016, 2020, then 2024. So, COVID and everything else. Then they have to host it while everybody else's seasons are going on. But that's all the Qatar stuff. I don't want to go down that path. But, man, it's going to be brutal once football season ends. Brutal. I mean, you're going to get the Detroit Pistons in action tonight. Painfully going to watch them. They're taking on Charlotte. They're either going to look really good or this is going to be just a mess of a game.
That's why you got to be in a bowling league, Anthony.
Brutal.
Then you have like Thursdays. Hey, I don't have to worry about Thursday nights.
I can't commit to that, Daniel. I can't commit to that.
You can.
I'll never be able to play.
No, you have to find a night. Like,
there aren't any nights, Dan.
Anthony,
it's too inconsistent.
But it's not.
It is. What do you mean it's not? It absolutely is.
You work for
4 basketball teams.
I understand that, but they're not like you can get a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. league. There's no games on.
And then bowl until 10 o'clock and then run to my car and then sprint up 23 for a noon tip-off?
I'm just saying.
I know. You're trying to help me.
I'm saying you can do a virtual golf league.
I thought about like a simulator. Like I don't know. Like I never really liked hitting into a net. And I guess like if there's some simulators nearby that I could maybe get into a league like that. But once again, it's if you're let's say it's a Wednesday night league. Let's say it's something like tonight. If I were to get back to my house after work at let's say 6:30, 6:45, and then have to do whatever's necessary for the show in the morning, then try to make it to a simulator league or play in the it's just a lot. It's a lot. And we're going to be stuck with, luckily the Wings are at least somewhat competitive they're hovering at 500. But the Pistons, their 25% win percentage is brutal. And then we'll get ready for a Tiger season, which if you're, very interested, and I'm sure that we're going to try to put on our happy face and say, who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe I'll try to drink some, Tiger Orange Kool-Aid here and try to get a little bit of maybe some positive juice flowing too. This is a good opportunity to see some of the young guys. A good opportunity to see if there's going to be that development, if Torque can take that step, and if Riley Green, can continue on, and we have these franchise, these cornerstone pieces, and maybe they'll be more competitive than we think, and that would be great. Maybe there have been some changes in a couple of different departments within the organization that will help improve the play of majority of last year's roster. But I just have that weird sort of gut feeling that it ain't going to be pretty when we close down football season. Not going to be pretty at all. Our friend of the show, Frank Schwab, if you're looking for some good reading today, Frank Schwab threw out an article on Yahoo Sports and their NFL page for his power rankings, and that is good to read because he dives into a little bit of the quandary that the Detroit Lions are going to find themselves in. Brad Holmes is going to find himself along with Dan Campbell. They're going to have to sit down at the end of this year based upon how good Jared Goff has played this year and decide what exactly do we want to do. What do we want to do? And how are we going to do it? And what's our strategic plan now moving forward here from the quarterback position? That's a very big question to ask. And Frank Schwab jumps into that as well as the salary ramifications. Now, I do know that there have been some drafts in which the Lions have not addressed the quarterback position. I understand that. But I also understand that by neglecting that position because of the guys that you had in place, Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, which are both better than 90% of the quarterbacks that get drafted in NFL history. They both are. By neglecting that position, you were able to add a cornerstone piece on the defensive line off the edge in Aiden Hutchinson, and you were able to add a cornerstone piece on the offensive line in tackle Penei Sewell that you converted from a left tackle to a right tackle. Even when that happened, people were like, now you got to trade Taylor Decker and move Penei to the left. Why would you do that? Why? It never made any sense to me why people called for that, because it's ridiculous. Do you want one really good tackle or two really good tackles? I would like two, please. That would be great. The offensive line has been great. And because you have passed up on trying to draft quarterbacks and all that other mess, you're able to bolster the roster in a more wholesome fashion to where when it is time, you have a team that is built for success already in place for whatever youngster might come along. Mirza says, love, what do you say here? Love football. Love the football flavor you toss on the show, especially during the World Cup. Thank you. One more for Messi. I pulled for my Croatian neighbors until they got matched up with Argentina, and it's only Messi left. I'm with you, man. I'm with Messi. I'm riding with Messi. We'll step aside. The coach, Kyle Barlow, joins us next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Drift into winter on a new snowmobile. Saturday, December 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th. One player every hour from 6 to 10 p.m. scores $500 in premium play. At 11 p.m., one lucky winner takes home a new Polaris Pro RMK/snowmobile. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Hello?
Hello!
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Good morning, campers.
Hey, yo.
Good morning, my neighbors!
Good morning.
Let's make some wake-up juice.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahaler, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining us now from one of the most underrated cities in the United States of America, live from Tampa Bay. The coach, Kyle Barlow, his Bobcats taking on the Florida Gators tonight down there in Tampa. Coach, what's going on? Good morning to you.
Good morning. Extremely underrated, too, by the way. Great city. You know, we got Kanye West playing. Somehow he's not canceled yet. And, you know, we're going to keep rocking. Wake up, Mr. West. By himself, he's still impressed.
We don't cancel anybody on this program except for Ryan Day. We canceled him and Urban Meyer and anybody else that might be playing at Ohio State, but you get uncanceled the minute that the Lions draft you. See, like Taylor Decker, Jeff Okuda, we uncancel people as they become advantageous to what we have going on. So that's good. When what day did you guys get down there, by the way?
We got down here yesterday, so we were looking at each other as a staff. And we said, why did we not just come Sunday? It's Christmas break, right? We got nothing going on campus. We should just came down here Sunday, and that would have been the right move, man. Let's get acclimated to the weather. You know,
do the Bobcats need boosters? Do you need Bellino's buddies? You need a little booster money to stay a couple extra nights in the hotel.
Yeah, let's get that collective going. Let's get the Bellino's collective going. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, when you climb Mount Everest, you got to get acclimated, right? You stay at base camp for a while. You don't just show up and, you know, get your Sherpa and just climb it. Like, you guys sit at base camp for a while. And, you know, this warm weather is something to deal with. Like, let's sit at base camp for a while.
Yeah, and training in the beach, right? The sand is good for your bones. Yeah. It's good for your soul and agility and your ligaments and stuff. You gotta lube the joints, a little swing lube down there.
Yeah, exactly. Low impact, you know, on the beach, you know. Actually, as a matter of fact, like, that's where I was jogging right now. I'm trying to find the beach, which, you know, I might settle for a river, but it's all good too. St. Pete's is a little far away.
Yeah, you can take the Skyway, one of the biggest bridges I have ever seen. I don't know what my fascination is with it, but it's incredible that they just stuck that in the water and said, you know what, this will work.
Did you see they're building a new one? So literally, I've been here twice now. The missus and I came for vacation last May, and they are literally building a new bridge right next to it. And if you've ever seen the construction of a bridge in a bay, it is fantastic. Like, they got floating cranes going in there. You know, they're driving those pillars deep into the water.
Go check it out on the Detroit River. They're building the Gordie Howe Bridge right now. It's crazy.
Oh. Well, and that's even better named. At least it's the Gordie Howe Bridge. Up here, it's just the Skyway, the Tampa Skyway, right?
Yeah, I don't know what are they gonna do with the other Skyway?
You know, just kind of let it sink, right? You know, global warming. I guess the water's going up anyway, so they're just gonna make this one a little higher. And in a decade, you won't see the other one anyways, right? Isn't that the theory?
I don't know if that's the case. Boy, the property values are going to absolutely plummet. You know, I was right on the Skyway. We went down there for a bachelor party, and we got there on, I think, Thursday in the afternoon at some point, and we ended up going out. And then I ended up, you know, I'm on the Skyway Friday morning at about 8 o'clock in the morning, sunglasses on. I couldn't even see out the window. I was like, jeez, what happened here? How did this happen? How could it happen? What's your tonight? The Florida Gators are the opponent. Can we do it? Can we do a scout? Can we do a scout here? Do you think you got Gators on the prowl down there?
Yeah, definitely. And by far, they are the best half-court defense that we've played. And there's a familiar name down there to Michigan fans. That's Colin Castleton, right? You know, so he transferred when I think Hunter Dickinson was coming in. I think John Teskey won the spot. You got Austin Davis, who was awarded his fifth year when Juwan Howard was there. And as Hunter Dickinson's coming in, you know, he threw up the deuces and duck lips and, you know, said, I'm going to go back home and play, right? And
deuces and duck lips. Oh, he's been on Instagram.
So he has quietly become one of the best bigs in the country, and this is the year of the bigs, right? And don't get it twisted. We played Hunter Dickinson 2 weeks ago now, and he is one of the best bigs in the country, if not the best. And Colin Castleton is not Hunter Dickinson, but he's in that conversation for top 10 big in the country. And this is the year of the big. Like, if you look around college basketball, you got Drew Timme, right? You got Hunter Dickinson. You got my man from Arizona, my man from UConn that I just watched on film, who was a beast. Like, this is a great year for big men.
Don't forget Purdue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They got They got Zach Edey, the biggest big man of all big men. It's 7 foot 13, 500 pounds. He's got a head the size of a football helmet.
I was going to say, don't forget the reigning National Player of the Year who returned to college for the first time in years. That's ever happened, Asht. And then you're talking about Zach Edey with Purdue and the number one team in the country right now. So this is the year of the big, and Colin Castleton is definitely in that conversation. Really, really good, really skilled, leads their team in assists. He's running their high post offense. You know, he can look the face up, rip, and go, and he can even shoot it a little bit. So really, really good player. And on the other side of the ball, our offense, their defense, one of the best half-court defenses we'll face all year. You know, they do the old NBA system where they don't help off of ball screens. They put two guys in a ball screen, and they basically said 2v2. You can't kick it out for an open three. We're going to let you play 2v2, and hopefully your guard drives our big guy, and then he blocks you at the rim because they're 10th in the country in blocks. So it's a really challenging game. This is a semi-neutral since we're playing in Tampa, right? So Florida's coming from Gainesville. Obviously, we're coming from Athens. So it's what they call a semi-neutral, where it's more home for them, but still a semi-neutral court. So, you know, a really good opportunity. You don't get this opportunity very much in college basketball.
You know, you mentioned year of the big, and I was always wondering if it was ever going. The pendulum usually does swing back, and I'm glad that it has, because I think that, you know, and until you've seen one of these people in person, you have no idea how big 7 feet is until you see it in person. When they put their arm up, you're like, I'm supposed to shoot over that? Like, you got to be kidding me. A true 7-footer is just mammoth. And we're getting a lot of larger guards, guys that are 6'2", 6'3" at the point. We're seeing the small forward and power forward. I'm an old structure guy. I like 1 through 5. I don't really like positionless basketball where everybody just wants to shoot threes and everybody's 6'7". Like, I don't like that. I'm glad that the big man is making a resurgence and finding their groove back, because I think the game is better when you have Shaquille's and you have Hakeem's and you have Wilts and Kareem's. I mean, that's what I was born on, is having that big guy down low on the block. And whether you play 3 out, 2 in, which it's gone the way of the dodo, or 4 out, 1 in. I love that.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. 3 out, 2 in might be dead. I mean, rarely do you see two.
It
bigs
might be
playing
dead.
at the same time.
The dodo, extinct, like a T-Rex.
It could be the dodo, extinct. It was in your 4th grade history books, in that top little box in the left-hand corner is extinct animals. It might be dead. But the 4 out, 1 in is still an exciting brand of basketball. And now you see the teams who can't get those bigs will go 5 out. And we've played a couple of those teams already this year that go 5 out. Like Youngstown State did that, which we won on Sunday at the buzzer at Youngstown State. Check out the clip if you didn't see it. And we played Detroit. We lost at Detroit this year. They both play 5 out, where they want to spread the floor and create those driving lanes, driving angles. And, you know, we have a big man who's a traditional big and is really good, shooting 60% from the floor. So at that point, it's like, all right, if you're going to spread us out on one end, you know, we're going to score on the post on the other, and we'll see which style works out.
That's the big fella, Dwight Wilson, I believe you are referencing there. 6'8", 250 for volume 3 of the Dwight Wilson. He's a Tallahassee native too, if I'm not mistaken. So does he have a bunch of family coming to the game?
A ton of family coming to the game. We got 2 Florida guys, Dwight Wilson III, and then we have AJ Brown from Orlando as well. So 2 Florida guys, and you know, we can say we scheduled the game for them. But let's be honest, I do scheduling, and I saw a chance to go to Tampa Bay in December, and I said, yes, hit the like button, baby. Retweet with a quote. Like, we're going down there, because I walked off of that plane, it's 79 and sunny, and I was happy ever since.
Is this a trip that the wives get to go on too?
So since it's the middle of the week, that's the one part where I messed up. Middle of the week, so you know, it makes it a little harder. And they, you know,
shucks.
You know, everybody's got jobs, right? Now, if it was a Saturday, Sunday, we could have been talking, right? But middle of the week, so a little more difficult for that.
And for the people that don't know Coach Barlow, I mean, this guy, when there's a road trip and he's on a basketball road trip and his wife gets to go, magic happens. Tell the people that don't know they don't know how long we've been doing this together. Tell them where you proposed to your wife at.
Oh, on a beach in Italy, in Jesolo Beach, with a J. It's a soft J, like jogging, right? Jesolo Beach, and the words were "Voice Force Army." If you don't know it, look it up. And in Italian, it was a great time on a team trip in Italy in 2017.
You can't top that. Like that's the pinnacle. That's the peak.
What happened is all my friends got pissed off. They said,
"Why is
that?" Doing? Because all of our wives are looking at this on Twitter and on Instagram and saying, "Now, why couldn't you do this?" Right? So the reverse effect, the reverse effect of that was I got yelled at by a lot of my friends.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Like they, normal proposals, like normal. They maybe go out to dinner. There's a walk.
Go to Applebee's.
There's a random
go by the river.
Yeah, there's a random cameraman in the woods. Like, what's he doing here? Like, oh, pop the question. You got some family around, maybe some friends. You go to Jesolo Beach in Italia. You take her to the other side of the world to wine and dine, throwing spaghetti sauce everywhere. I love that. Yeah, good for everybody. That's just a win-win. I wanted, because we talked about Purdue just a moment ago. You referenced the number one team in the country. There were some comments made by Boeheim last year talking about the Big Ten's lack of success in the tournament. They do have 5 teams in the top 25. Michigan and Michigan State have both had their hiccups early on this year, but they're, I would say, top 35 based on votes and everything else. Where do you put the Big Ten in relation to the rest of the country?
It's among the best in the country, and if it's not number one, it's definitely number 2. And year in and year out, like I don't know the results of the Big Ten ACC Challenge this year. I think ACC might have won it, but I think the Big Ten, the last few years, the Big Ten has won it, and those are the 2 best basketball conferences in the country. And I don't think it's argumentative. And and his argument was, well, if you're the best conference in the country, you don't win national titles. And it's like, you of all people, like Coach Boeheim should know, it's extremely hard to win a national title, and it takes a lot of luck. Like I remember. In 2013, we were at Michigan. I was a GA there, and we beat them in the Final Four. Like, I would say it's probably a better judgment to draw as teams that make the Final Four. Because once you get to that final weekend, I mean, anything can happen. But you have to be a dang good team to make that final weekend. And if you look at the stats, there's not that many outliers when it comes to the Final Four. It's usually a team that's top 10 in the country in offense and top 10 in the country in defense. And you can mix and match any of those stats, but usually that's what you end up with in the Final Four. And at that point, it's no fluke.
Yeah, just so for our listeners, the Big Ten had won 8 of the 14 matchups in 2021. This year, the ACC strikes back. They went 8-6 this year. They had Duke beating Ohio State. They had Miami over Rutgers. They had Notre Dame over Michigan State. Virginia Tech over Minnesota. Pitt over Northwestern. God, Northwestern is bad. Clemson over Penn State, and Wake Forest over Wisconsin, and then Virginia over Michigan in a heartbreaker, the number 3 Cavaliers. Oh, that was a tough one to watch there. But I do like the fact that, yes, it is. If it's not 1, then it is 2. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's good for Big Ten basketball. And I feel like there is more. There's more guys sticking around. I feel like a lot of that one and done chatter, people just kind of realize what it is, and they've moved past it. And as you mentioned, the big Oscar coming back, like what that meant to have the reigning National Player of the Year. You got Hunter Dickinson back for a 3rd year at Michigan. You got Malik Hall, a 74th year super senior at Michigan State. Like, you got a lot of guys coming back. And it just feels like it's better for the sport. It feels like college basketball is taking a turn back to yesteryear as a whole.
Well, I think you play better basketball when you have older guys on the floor. Those guys have been there, and ask any coach, and you want older guys. And we just played a team in Youngstown State who is like the 10th oldest team in the country. They took a lot of grad transfers, so they have 5th-year senior, 5th-year senior, 6th-year senior, 4th-year senior. So I do think it's better for college basketball, and that's where you see the effects of NIL coming into college athletics, in a way that allows for better basketball and those guys to come back. You look at Hunter Dickinson and Oscar Tshiebwe, and those guys aren't traditional NBA big players, like post players. Like now they're not. The NBA is not going to post up back to the basket players. They're more run to the rim, rebound, and athleticism in that position. So NIL has really leveled the playing field when it comes to that, because now it's like Oscar Tshiebwe's making $2.1 million at least at Kentucky through NIL. And so now it's like, why would I get drafted late in the second round and not have a contract that's even that big? I might as well come back. You know, the NBA will always be there. That second round draft pick will always be there. And if you're projected in that second round and you can get an NIL to match it or even go above it in the case of some of these guys, then why not, right? Why not go to college? I mean, college is the best years of lives. We all know that. We've been there.
Yeah, I mean, I would stay. I would absolutely stay. I don't think that. I mean, it's you know, some people peak in high school. Really, college is the pinnacle. As long as you don't flunk out your first year. I think there's some growing pains there. Year number one that you got to realize why we are actually here and what it's going to take to continue to live with this same sort of quality of life. And how do we extend? It's just a lot of Br0's and high life. You know, that's what it comes down to. You're balling on a budget.
Hey, don't forget about that freshman 15. You got to stave off that freshman 15 as well, man.
You know what's crazy is at one point early on in my freshman year is the heaviest I had ever been. I mean, it just happened like overnight. And then, joining the women's basketball practice squad, that was it. Like then it was like, hey, you're playing every day, you're lifting every day, like you're fine. It just melts right off. And then you hit like 33, 34, 35. And, now you got to run, 6 miles in a day, every day for the rest of your life to even try to get your metabolism to work. I don't even know if I have one. I haven't found it yet.
But what are you saying, Big Daddy? What Adam Sandler saying, Big Daddy? He's like, now I have a milkshake and my butt jiggles for a week, right? Like, it's so true. You got, like, we're out here. I see you on the treadmill, right? And I'm getting out here. I'm on the Riverwalk path right now, and it's like you got to work your butt off just to earn your breakfast, right?
Bro,
like,
you got to be at an 8,500 calorie deficit as an adult to lose a pound. I'm convinced. I'm gonna send you. I took a quick video yesterday. As I was finishing up, and my hand is on like the little arm of the treadmill, on the side thing, and just have it, a puddle is down on the treadmill coming out of my sleeve. Like it's just soaking wet. I mean, it's what you got to do. You got to commit, and you got to go all in.
Anthony, I hate to break it to you, you're skinny, buddy.
He is. Anthony,
you're in shape, dude. Like that's why you can't lose any weight.
Here's the key. Here's my tip for when you get home. This is what you do. You get a big wok pan. You know what a wok pan is? I just bought one of these. It is giant. It's going to take up like your whole stove, right? You take cauliflower rice and you substitute the cauliflower rice with regular rice, and you make chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
With the cauliflower, and I that's all I've been eating. I've been eating that every day of the week now, multiple times a day for like 3 straight weeks.
Sounds miserable. What did I text you last night? You texted me last night and said, man, let me enjoy my oysters and my beer in peace. I'm in Tampa, Ohio. You don't get this stuff in the Midwest. You don't get it fresh in the Midwest. Let me enjoy my seafood. And if I want to get fried calamari, I'm going to get fried calamari. I'm not doing your substitute rice recipe every day. Come on.
No, don't substitute anything. Yeah, live a little while you're down there. We're in pain now so that we can live a little when it's our time to get down there. He's the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at KyleBarlow4. Coach Barlow live in Tampa, building a bridge down there. Have fun. Best of luck against the Gators tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
There he goes, the coach, Kyle Barlow. Always good catching up with him. I like talk to him. That's basically what it comes down to. New customers over at DraftKings can bet $5 to the pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game, and when they do, you're going to walk out with $150 in free bets using the promo code HUGE right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook. All you have to do, download the DraftKings Sportsbook, type in the word HUGE, H-U-G-E, and place a wager on the money line tonight. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117, 21 plus. Michigan only. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. Bonus issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/basketball terms. Dan and Ryan, I'm Anthony. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle and filling your sleigh with $100,000. Come out for reindeer games every Friday in December from 6 to 10 p.m. Each hour, 2 players have the chance to pick a lucky reindeer and win up to $100,000 cash. Don't miss your chance at huge holiday winnings. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's that time of year again, and there's no better way for sports fans to celebrate the season than with BetMGM's 12 days of giveaways. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Happy holidays. Opening your presents is easy. Just sign into your BetMGM account and unwrap a new giveaway every day between December 14th and December 25th. You'll find everything a bettor needs to enjoy the holidays, including deposit matches, free bets, and parlay boost tokens for all your favorite sports. Log on to your BetMGM account or sign up today for 12 days of giveaways from the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager, Michigan only. New existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Delicious holiday meals are right around the corner when you shop Meijer. Get Meijer Spiral Sliced Half Ham for 89 cents per pound, limit 2. Meijer canned vegetables like green beans are just 39 cents. And Pillsbury refrigerated baked products are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, whip up your favorite holiday desserts with low prices on family favorites like Meijer butter, flour, and sugar. Get more for your money with the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Your Auto Value Auto Parts store is part of a network of more than 300 family-owned stores and are locally run by some of your own friends and neighbors. Every day, we work hard to provide you with all the automotive aftermarket parts and accessories you'll ever need. Name brands, too, like Champion, Seafoam, Wix, Lucas, Mobile, and more. The auto parts you need at the value you've come to expect. So thanks again for shopping locally at Auto Value, where service is the difference. We get it.